Like any racer worth my cheater motor, I wanted my rat rod to go faster. I'd already bought a Spektrum DX5 Pro controller, so thought I'd add a receiver that had some help in it. And this is the Spektrum receiver with the advanced vehicle control built in that I put in. I'm 75 and race on my own track, so I'm not breaking any rules or anything here. On the left is my new Hoosier tires from Proline. On the right is the tire that came on the rat rod. The original tires worked okay, but I think these new tires will work better on my track. The tires mounted on the wheels easily, and that whole assembly fit the rat rod perfectly. I expect I'll scrub that Hoosier name off of the tire eventually, but so far they've been really getting a good grip on the track. Now I can go faster and look cool doing it. Next up was a set of Proline shocks. The guys at Anderson RC in Thomasville, North Carolina recommended these shocks, and boy were they right. I found that I could file the circumference down a little bit on the original inserts from the Associated shocks, and they pressed right into the Prolines. And yes, that is a little bit of my track on my brand new shocks because I've already tried them out, and I'm really happy with them. The bottom mount for the rear shocks was just straight bolt-in operation, didn't have to change anything. I did the same little mod to the upper bushings on the front shocks. It only took a couple of minutes and gave me a nice clean fit. The bottom mounting point also took a little bit of work with the file. That also only took a little bit because the amount of material to be removed was really small. I just cleaned up the opening in the lower arm, and the new shocks pressed right in there and fit the original bolts. The folks at Anderson also suggested the 40-weight oil, and that also appears to be another bullseye on their part. I might try some different oil weights and different springs along the way, but for right now, everything is working just great. I'm using the springs that came with the shocks, and I put just a little bit of preload on them all the way around to start with. I'm going to get some laps on this setup and see what I think and make some adjustments later on. It's supposed to get over 100 today, so I wanted to get out early and get these laps in for the cameras. Of course, it's a lot of fun now that the car's handling so great. The rat rod is driving so differently now and carrying so much more speed into the turns that I have to refigure on where I'm going to turn in. And the side bite with those new tires is a whole lot different now. If I get on the gas wrong, it kind of shoots it off into the woods. With the rat rod driving so stable now, I was able to tighten up the slipper clutch quite a bit. Well, I can still spin it out without a bunch of difficulty, but I'm learning. Most important to me is that the car is so much more consistent now that I can actually learn where I want to drive it. Before I put the Proline shocks on, the car was spending a lot of time in the air as it bounced over bumps. Now the tires are staying in contact with the ground more, so it drives a whole lot better. One of the biggest secrets ever in old track racing is consistency. That's what makes you faster on the track, and I've got a lot of practice to do. And the mods we did here really perked this thing up.